On this episode, I answered the medicine question, mindful parenting, and neutral situations. Hey, I'm Randy Floyd from Midwest Anxiety, and welcome to the first ever Ask Randy Floyd Support Group Edition. Yeah, I wanted to do this first video, and I thought about doing it upright, going to Starbucks, getting a nice table, doing all that. But you know, my son's at baseball practice, and I thought maybe I just should bang out this first video. So here we go, and you know, it's been actually a good week for me. I got Google Fiber. I'm really totally excited about that. So these videos that I'm putting out, all this content, I'm able to upload that a lot faster. Got my chores done this morning, already mowed the grass and done all that. So I'm ready to answer your questions. So here we go. Kimberly writes, I am on Zoloft right now for anxiety and panic attacks. At first, had a lot of side effects, then things mellowed out. Got better, then I have a few good weeks. Then, like today and yesterday, have panic attacks and getting a bit depressed about it. Why does it bounce back and forth? I'm not one to be on meds and it's hard for me. Should I switch things up? New meds or back off? I am worried about withdrawals. I get shoulder pains, chest pains, etc. Confused. Need some advice, please. This is all new for me. Thanks, Kimberly. Yeah, that question's asked all the time. I call it the medicine question. No matter where I go to talk and speak, no matter if I'm meeting with someone individually or over the phone, that question comes up all the time. And that's something that you know, I can't necessarily answer specifically over this video as far as if you should be on medicine or what you should do, but I'll give you definitely some general ideas. You know, as far as medicine goes, I think there's a time and a place for it. If we're talking about anxiety specifically and panic, you know, so we look at skills. I look at skills, and depending on kind of what your skill set is, depends on if you need some medicine, and not only if you need medicine, but how much you need and how often, and you know, I believe in a cognitive behavioral perspective. You know, doctors at times believe, you know, this biochemical in the brain and those things, but let's take it from a cognitive behavioral perspective today, and really, so it sounds like your panic's kind of coming and going. The medicine's offering some relief, but at other times you're having trouble with it. And hey, I'm just going to keep shooting. I know I'm outside. I'm at Black Bob Park here. For some of you, this is a place I visit all the time, so you're going to hear some wind probably, but we're going to just keep shooting. That's what this Ask Randy Floyd's all about, is just in the moments and informal. Some of you can probably see in the background, there's Black Bob Bay there. I'll be there this summer with my kids. But back to your question, Kimberly, you know, the medicine has time and place, and really the goal is to develop some skills. So depending on your skill set, if you feel like you're able to manage the anxiety well, then you know, maybe you can decrease the medication. If you don't feel like you have a good skill set, and really I'm talking about a skill set from a cognitive behavioral perspective, and we're talking about your thoughts, how you think about kind of the panic, and really here's a book on panic. It's an older book, but it's really probably one of the best ones out there, Into Panic. And you know, this goes through and kind of talks about the cognitive behavioral kind of way of working through it. But I believe panic is all in how you think about it. Certainly your thoughts, you know, as you're developing anxiety, your thoughts are going to think certain things, and your thoughts and your anxiety kind of go together. And not only do your thoughts and anxiety go together, so oh my gosh, here this panic symptom comes, or oh boy, I can't stand this anymore, then not only do your thoughts and your behavior, or thoughts and physical feelings connect together, but your behaviors then connect together, and so people start avoiding. So this is something that really you would want to address with your physician to kind of determine the right medication and the dose and those things. But I really believe kind of in the end, if you have a great skill set and you're mindful about kind of what's going on in your life, and you're going to hear me talk over and over about being mindful. If you're mindful, then a lot of these panic symptoms and stressors in your life, if you use some cognitive restructuring and some behavioral modification and those things, really that panic and that anxiety decreases over time. But really you got to determine that skill set and see if you have that. So Kimberly, I hope that helps you. Check out this book, An End to Panic. Certainly this has got a lot of great stuff in it. So thanks for your question. Nicole writes, why is it so difficult to get my son to do his homework? I am so frustrated. There's only so much I can do. His ODD makes it worse. He half does things if I can get him to do his work at all. He never studies. School does not motivate him. He does okay in school, grade-wise, but totally missed his potential. I want to scream. Hey Nicole, thanks for your question. Yeah, I know this is a tough one also, and we're going to talk about mindful parenting for a minute. I really believe if we start from a place that we can't control anyone but ourselves, we can only really control ourselves, then I think it really helps then be able to look at your son and kind of how you're parenting your son. And, you talk about frustration and he doesn't really have the drive for himself and those things. I think as parents, we really struggle with that. I know I've got 3 kids myself, and we want to will something on them, or we want to make them do something. We want the best for them because we really think that's our job. We really think it's our job, and really, so I talk about are you responsible to or responsible for your child? And I really believe that we're responsible to our child, not for our child. We're responsible to, but not for. We're responsible to give him our children safety and education and nutrition and those basic needs, but we can't make them do any of that. If your child, if your son doesn't want to do his homework, unfortunately, you can't make him. I know this from an early age with my kids. I couldn't really make them do anything. I know I struggle with it every day. Clean your room, do this, do that, and sometimes they don't do it, and that creates these internal feelings in me. And this is where I come to in your question is really detaching yourself emotionally and physically from your son is really difficult to do. I know it is, but that's where we got to start, is really recognizing that focusing on yourself. Certainly continue to parent your child in a very supportive and kind way, but really the behaviors, we've got to talk about choice, and he's making certain choices, and sometimes our children make certain choices just to really make us mad. I bet you know that, right? And so for us, what I would say is that we've really got to look at ourselves and be mindful. Okay, what are my thoughts? How am I feeling inside? And then what am I doing? And really, not only with these questions that I'm answering today, but really kind of in the rest of my life and our lives, we really got to be continually thinking about our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. So how am I thinking? How am I feeling? What am I doing? When my son comes to me and says, no, I'm not doing my homework, or he just yells at me, or whatever it would be, it's kind of what am I thinking in that situation? Here comes the wind again. I love it. We're out here in just the open field. This is awesome. So what are we thinking? What are we feeling? And what are we doing? And so really just start to be mindful of that. And that's what I talk about mindful parenting. The more that you escalate, the more he might escalate. And really, if you can take yourself emotionally out of it, then certainly that highlights your son and his choices and those things. And really, I know part of it is our own anxiety about what happens when he turns 18 and he's not any further ahead, and it's now his adult life, and now he's not being successful, and those things. That's part of being a parent. Those are things that we wrestle with. those are things that we really have to work through ourselves as an individual. So I really do always love to reach out and to talk to parents. I know parenting is the hardest thing that I do in my day. I can talk with parents all day about their children, but when it comes to my own children, it's really tough. One resource I would give you here is Scream-Free Parenting. Some of you may have heard of it, some of you may haven't, but Hal Runkle, if you go to screamfreeparenting.com, I think, this is great, and it really talks about, when I talk with families and it talks about with Scream-Free, it's less about trying to control your child, and it's more about trying to control yourself. Control yourself as you're parenting, as the title would say, Scream-Free Parenting. So, Nicole, definitely appreciate your question. I wish you good luck with continuing to focus on yourself rather than focus on your child. And in the end, you'll probably find some relief from it. So I hope that helps, Nicole. Bridget writes, grade school daughter, struggles with generalized anxiety, can't eat when it's at its worst during summer months. Thanks, Bridget, for your question. Yeah, this is something I know you and I responded back and forth through the support group about your daughter and how it seems to be that she can't eat, and in the winter months it's more difficult. And it seemed like through our just general conversation, it was kind of this question about why in the winter months, or that was a big part of it. And I know I responded back that I'm really interested to kind of hear more about that, because kind of what I believe and what I want to speak to here is that situations don't cause something. So let's say that your daughter is more anxious in the winter. It sounds like that, and then it seems like as spring comes on, those anxiety symptoms go away. I'm really interested to know more about that. It could be, she's cooped up inside. That might be a situation. It could be a variety of different things. But I think in that, whatever winter brings, she's got a certain process and pattern that goes on with again, I know that I've said this in all the questions here today. Maybe I've only learned 3 things about thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, but I'm really mindful in my own life about thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. And I'm going to address this here again in this question. Is that all situations are neutral. Me standing here right now, I'm, is a neutral situation. While I really enjoy this, I really enjoy being on camera and answering your questions and hopefully impacting some of your lives. But I'm bringing value to this right now. So I'm thinking that, I'm having a good time. I'm thinking that I'm bringing you value. And I could think something else. Oh my gosh, they're not going to think that this video is great. They're going to think I'm way off base or something like that. Certainly, as I think those negative patterns, then I start having anxiety. So I'm really interested to know about the winter months for your daughter, and maybe even some more about the situations in which she's anxious and she can't eat. And when I talk about people talk about I can't eat, or I can't do this. I talk about everything's a choice. You can eat, she can eat, and I know in what your question's all about, and that's common language that we have, but I really believe in semantics. And if we say we can't, we won't try. But if we think about it as a choice, I can or I can't, instead of I can or I can't, how about our will or a won't? Okay, so now if we talk about will, okay, I will try. There's talks about growth mindset here, and I'm really big on growth mindset. Growth mindset's all about just being able to expand yourself and grow. The opposite of that is fixed mindset, and fixed mindset's all about I can't do anything. I'm stuck in the moment. I'm stuck in my life where I'm at, and I'll never be able to change. So I know there's more to your question. I know there is, but I did want to use your question as a place to really talk about all situations are neutral. Really, any situation is neutral. Every situation is neutral. What happens in situations is you bring your thoughts to it. So if you have positive thoughts, then that situation is going to become more of a positive value for you. Certainly that's going to cause some positive emotions, and then your behaviors are going to be positive. The situation, though, you may start to develop some negative thoughts about the situation. So, whatever that would be, in your particular case. But Bridget, so this might be something to start to think about in your daughter's situation. In case, I did want to offer one resource to you. I think this is a great book just for parents and anxious kids, anxious parents, by Reed Wilson and Lynn Lyons. I think this is a great resource for parents, and really encourage you to look this up and see if this might be helpful for you in your own, parenting your child. And this could go for, Nicole or any of you. But let's look at situations as being neutral and focusing on, the winter months or whatever it is with that situation is neutral. And then let's start looking at thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, and seeing what kind of value that provides. So, Bridget, I hope that answers your question a little bit. Certainly not knowing all of your situations, wanted to try to be on the mark some and give you some resources. I know over this video I can't answer and help you fully, but the Ask Randy Floyd's about just answering those questions and giving you some at least thought to go on. This has been actually very cool that that I've done this. I hope you enjoy it. I really want to get this started in the support group. So what you can do, this support group edition is just for those in the support group. So if you want to, in the support group, just hashtag Ask Randy Floyd, hashtag Ask Randy Floyd. Hey, I'll take all your questions and I'll answer them, and we'll have a lot of fun. We may go to Starbucks next time. We may be back out here on the ball field. Hey, this is what it is. It's real life, and I just want to bring some value to everyone in the support group. I really hope that you find some peace in your day and in your life. Hopefully this was helpful for you. Until next time, be happy. Take care now.
Down the sidewalk, kicking my feet as I'm moving to the music. Step to the beat, I woke up today, canceled all my plans, and I stepped right outside with my guitar in my hands, and the notes became loud as the sound caressed the air, and I kicked it up a notch as I strolled.